So we're back. But this battle with these houses, this shit's old and we need to get over it. Like, seriously. I'm not trying to do this for a whole season, really. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag in all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is season 9, episode 1 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And like I said, I'm not really trying to do the Sheree versus Kenya house thing for a whole season. We need to really get on past this. It's really silly. But anyway, I'm not even going to start there. First thing we see Kandi and Todd and the baby. And the first thing I see, he's cute as he can be. Ace looks exactly like Riley. Like, literally, he looks like a little condensed, little miniature version of Riley. He's real cute little baby. I said, check him out. And then they were actually training him. She's potty training him. Now, I have no idea why there's an issue about Kandi training her baby to sit on the toilet, because I did the exact same thing. I used the exact same type of baby adjusted toilet seat and all that. I didn't use one of those little cute potties. I had the cute little potty for the second child. My baby, he thought that damn thing was a toy. And it was everywhere but on his ass. It was on his head. It was thrown across the room. It did too much. That was my mother and her bright ideas. Oh, it's so cute. It makes noise and it sings and it does all that. It did everything except for be pissed and shit in. And like I said, I ended up doing him exactly like I did his brother. As soon as he could hold his back up at him, his ass was up on that damn toilet, on that modified seat, shitting because he stunk. And ain't nobody got time to be playing around with no stinking ass baby. So, Kandi, fuck the people in that bullshit. Do what you need to do. Train Ace to take his ass to the bathroom. Period. And it does work. Anyhow. Next we found out Kenya and Matha broke up. They literally broke up supposedly at the end of last season when they were still out of the country on the vacation. He was throwing shit around the room and snapping out. Somebody found some numbers in her phone or whatever. I don't even know why he even went through all that. Matt, child, don't nobody want her ass but you. Don't nobody want Kenya but you. Trust me. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Anyway, but from the looks of things, I think they still tip around and play around with each other. But whatever, we'll see as this shit actually unfolds. She's actually living in her house as well, and it's not completed. Still not complete. And she's living in the house. It's cool, it's livable. There's some things that need to be done, and that's fine. Whatever. Sheree ain't living in hers, but hers ain't done either. Both of them look real nice, you know. Now, me personally, I prefer Sheree's to Kenya's. I think Kenya's is a little more boring. But I think once she gets some things up in there, because it just looks like a big loft or something. I think once she gets some things in there, it'll be okay. But again, just personal preference. That's all. Sheree's looks more like a house. Kenya's looks more like an office. But anyway, so we'll get back to them in a minute. Phaedra. Girl, you finally filed for divorce. Great. Can't wait to get a dick up in her. In the public, anyway. You know, she's hanging out with Porsha, and that's the first thing they tell me on is her finding somebody to put a little bit up in her tailpipe, honey. I said, girl, go ahead on, honey. Then they're sitting there and they get an invite. Phaedra gets an invite to go to Kenya's housewarming. Now tell me, why do people do this? So you have an invitation to go to Kenya's housewarming. You already know the history of Kenya and Porsha, so you know Porsha's not invited. Tell me why you felt it necessary to invite Porsha as your plus one. Why? And this is not just for the show. This is what people do. People know that there are bad blood between people, and they constantly want to push those two people together. Why do people do that? That is so shady. It's so shady. It's like you want the fireworks to happen, and then you sit back and pretend like you don't. Yes, you do. You want to see the shit get started. Well, my thing is, I'm not really pressed to be in. I don't want to be anywhere where I'm not wanted. So that's my thing. But I just noticed that the people have a tendency to want to push people who are not getting along together, and it ain't always so that they can mend fences. They push them together because they want to see the shit happen. They want to see the shit go down. They want to see it blow up for their entertainment. Guess what? I am an entertainer, but I need to be paid. Anyway, so I just kind of laughed at Phaedra when she said, "Yeah, I don't want to go down into the ditch alone, honey." I said, "Lord have mercy." They still reading her about that damn drop coming into her place. And she had gotten it. I laughed at it because she was getting it paved, and she was saying, talking about, she was bragging about how she had gotten it fixed. Bitch, it wasn't fixed. You paved part of it. Still not fixed. There were still people tipping and carrying. Sheree took her shoes off at the top and came down. It's not completely paved. So shut up, Kenya, bitch, and get it the rest of the way paved and quit your playing. Porsha's going to anger management, which she should. She should be angry about whoever did her fucking hair. Show's got too much on. It's terrible. Her hair, everything about Porsha screams drag. Which I ain't got no problem with drag, but for a real woman, I just don't understand the purpose of always looking like a drag queen. Too much hair, too much nails, too much eyelashes, too much makeup, too much heels too high. It's all, you're not getting ready to get on stage anywhere. So what is the problem? But she all in the confessionals, even when she said everything is just too much, and her hair is just, it's too much. It doesn't look natural. It looks wiggy because it's so much. You got like 12 bundles piled on top of your head. And is it mean, or when Porsha comes to the room, look at her feet. And it's not just her. It's most of the girls that you know who got these fake butts. Even the ones that claim that they don't. I see it with Kenya. I see it with Porsha. I see it with Nicki Minaj. I see it with, who else we run around with a fake ass? Kay, Michelle. Look at their feet. Their feet don't go right. Something be going on with their feet. All of their feet look like baby doll shoes. Like they look like, how baby doll shoes they don't sit just right. They be kind of off. Something's wrong with their feet. Look at their feet. It tell me, is it just me? Is it me? I don't think it's me. Something's off about their feet, honey. The fake butt. Something about their butt throws their feet off. And I don't know, feet just don't sit right under that butt or something. Something ain't right with that. It could just be me. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Look down in the comments. But especially the scene when Porsha walked into the therapist's office and went to sit down. First of all, she just like kind of slumped down because one, the heels was too high. And she was so glad to get the fuck up off of them. But for some reason, it just looked like her feet was just hanging up underneath her butt. Like an old broken Barbie doll. Whatever. Anyway. Okay, so let me talk about when Kenya actually called Sheree to invite her to the party. Now, when Sheree and Kenya talk, and it's just the two of them, they have like decent banter back and forth. Like they have a friendly conversation. But as soon as someone else gets up in the midst of it, like if someone else is present, they kind of show off on each other. Did you notice that? Sheree, I've seen Sheree talk to Kenya, and it was a decent conversation. Sheree was talking to Kenya, and her daughter was there, and she's being all flippant, and then she hangs up the phone on her in mid sentence. So what's with that showing off? And one other thing I noticed about poor Sheree, the house is beautiful, but I'm not hearing, she's walking around the house with this little guy, this little interior decorator, or whatever. I'm not hearing anything about what you like. I'm not. I know whenever I redid my house years ago, and I was getting everything together, and I was tearing walls out, and I was doing all of this stuff, and everything that I did was based on something that I wanted. It didn't matter whether people thought because me and my mother were going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That doesn't sound right. Then my grandmother was adding her 2 cents in. I ain't never heard of such. All of that. I went through all of that, but I had a vision, and I knew what I wanted. So it didn't have to make sense to anybody. Like literally, like how there's a banister here. I wanted no banister. Like I wanted at one point, there was no banister, and you just could see the steps. But then I had to do some other things because I ended up later on, once I adopted the children and all that crap, then I had to, I wanted to do daycare in the house, so I had to put a banister back because that's just a code, for daycare inside of a house, so I had to put the banister back. But I ain't never heard of no goddamn house that ain't got no banister. There's banister at the top portion, it was on the other side of the wall and all of that. But just that whole banister, fuck all that. You don't know how to walk up and down steps? Then fall. But that was, you know what I mean? It was all what I wanted. It was the way I wanted things done. It wasn't about pleasing anybody else. And that's all I hear out of Sheree is, oh yeah, I'm gonna get them with this. Oh yeah, they ain't gonna be ready for that. Honey, are you doing this for you? Who are you doing this for? Because if it's not for you, God bless you, you're never gonna be happy with it. At some point, you're going to resent it. That's a whole lot of money and a whole lot of time and a whole lot of debt to be in trying to impress somebody. And then in 2 years, what you going to do after that? You going to redo it all? Girl, please. Anyway. All right, so let's go on down to the little party. Okay, so we get to the party. Sheree's coming to the party. I don't know who the little sissy that came in with her. He looked a mess. Everything he had on was too tight, down to his motherfucking socks. I said, what is going on? They were standing at the top of the thing. It looked like he couldn't put his motherfucking arms down. I said, girl, stop it. Stop it. Y'all gonna have to do something. This is crazy because it's supposed to be the other way around. The pocket gay is supposed to keep the girl together and looking right. And Sheree was looking right. The bitch was done. Ponytail, this ponytail was on, that bitch was done. You understand me? She really was. She looked good. That bitch was done. And speaking of ponytail, hold that. Just hold that. Anyway, y'all know I'm going to get Kandi's ass right together. Just hold on. But anyway, yeah, Sheree looked good. Her pocket gay, he looked ridiculous. He looked ridiculous. That's the child. If you don't take that old oak tree outfit and get it 3 sizes bigger, bitch, he looked terrible. But okay, so let's talk about ponytails. Did y'all see that ponytail that Kandi had on in that goddamn confessional? Kandi, where you going, honey? Whose fortune you get ready to tell? I don't know what it is about poor Kandi and hair. That baby just can't get it right. She just can't get it right. The only person on this cast, there's only one bitch on this whole cast of this whole program that could pull off that look you pulling off is Cynthia Bailey. Kandi, you're too short. And you just ain't right. You're not even charismatic enough to pull that look off. That look is Cynthia with a black turtleneck and ponytail. Only motherfucker on the cast that can pull it off is Cynthia, and it needs 2 more bags of hair. Let that one go, Kandi. Let that one go. Hey, Cynthia, you paying attention, bitch? 2 more bags of hair, bitch. Turtleneck. Turn it. A mess. A mess. I said, child, it was giving me a real busted, cheap ghetto version of Rich Man's Fruit, honey. I said, that's a damn mess. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Some of y'all won't know nothing about that. Look it up, honey. Rich Man's Fruit, honey. Look it up. Anyway, Google it. All right, so they just went in there, and whenever they went into the party, it was like just spilling shit and reading. That's Sheree. She's steady reading. Oh, this whole house is the size of my foyer. I was like, girl, stop it. And did y'all catch her spilling shit? She spilled some shit. And Kenya kind of looked over. I said, girl, you know, I'd have thought she did it on purpose. I'd have gave her, I know you ain't spilling shit, bitch. Just the best. But anyway, the party was whatever. People were asking for old cockeye, Matt. They looking for him. And, Kenya wasn't saying anything. He wasn't saying that, he wasn't coming. She had a little cry with her and Cynthia. Cynthia looked nice, too. Very model-esque. She had a big poofy coming to America situation going on in a cute jumpsuit. Kenya in a jumpsuit. Jumpsuit was bad as shit. This white jumpsuit that Kenya had on, this stinking bitch had this bad white jumpsuit on. But, Kenya, your titties are too fucking big. And it seems as though she's gained some weight. So, when you gain weight, so do your titties. Her titties were exploding from this jumpsuit. The jumpsuit was sharp. The jumpsuit was everything, and it looked good on her, all except for her titties. Her titties are too fucking big. They're too big. And they ain't real, so just take some of it down. Ain't no big deal. Take some of it down. That was a mess. But, that was a mess. But, and the other thing I'm going to say before I get up out of here, I don't even know why she had that housewarming. That housewarming, it was ridiculous because the house is not done. The house wasn't even done to a point where you needed to be showing it. There were like many, many things that were wrong. And Sheree just was looking real petty by picking out every little thing. But what do you expect? The house is not done. That house was not done. And I'm going to give you this. Would you have shown that house to somebody like that trying to sell it to them? As a house where they could just move right in? Would you have shown it like that? Then why in the fuck would you have a housewarming? Try not to have egg on your face because you have set a date. Dates are made to be moved, girl. It ain't no big deal. You just be fucking up. Kenya, you know better than that. That was tacky. Very, very tacky. But anyway, last thing we seen was old Phaedra and Porsha showing up. And Kenya kind of looked, and I was like, she ain't gonna let it go because that's Kenya. I was like, a normal person would just let it go and be like, oh, this bitch that came up in here, this bitch that had nerves to come up in here. But no, not Kenya. She ain't gonna let it go. So I will be, and it's a to be continued. So we know she's gonna show off. I'm just waiting to see how this turns out. I will catch you guys. We're back on. I'll catch you guys next Sunday. Bye, guys.